Hi everyone, I'm in a lab in Morocco staring at my plasmastatic separator and a blatant copycat right next to it. In this video, we're exposing the ripoff, comparing the two, and talking about what makes our plasmastatic separator the real deal.
My reaction yesterday was very emotional. I feel some sort of way about that. I guess I feel like I'm being plagiarized, and it's not a pleasant feeling. But I guess what's lost in that plagiarism is what it takes to make these sort of products.
So we're in Morocco, and this is a clone of our device. This company, they purchased one of our machines about a year and a half ago, and so he just directly copy and pasted. We're here with the owners who have now purchased other machines, but the machine is not being used. And that's because at the end of the day, quality beats price any day. In practice, it's just inconvenient to use the machine because they are unable to produce the quality of the final product than they can with the original Plasmastatic. Their explanation of it is this is like buying a copy from Asia.
We're fortunate that we have a strong team behind us, you know, from researchers, large companies that are doing the heavy lifting with the engineering, and then taking that academic, that engineering research, creating it into a product, and then putting that product in the hands of professionals that are at the top of the industry that can give us feedback both on the quality of the final products and the ease of use of the machines so that we can go back to the drawing board and refine these products.
I don't want to give away the ingredients to the sauce, but some notable differences in the two machines that really affect the performance. Number one is the build. They purchased an extruded aluminum machine, so of course they're using extruded aluminum. And you don't want to use aluminum panels with static electricity because there's going to be some sort of oxidation. So all of this stuff that's being produced with aluminum in it, you have the propensity of oxidation, and that's going to end up in your hash. We can look at the diffuser. We did hours and hours of simulation on how the diffuser is best to perform.
Our early versions of the machine, in this case, this particular lab, they had our machine. We didn't have inventory. They ended up expanding their lab and they purchased a competing device, which just didn't perform the same as our older technology. So now they've purchased a V2 and two V1s as their lab continues to grow. You have to create a laminar flow so that the particles, as they're falling down, they have a free fall trajectory. That means that they just fall gently on their own accord without being shot out. Because if the particles are falling fast, what happens is the attraction has to compensate for the velocity of the particle. If the particles are coming out fast, it's difficult for them to separate and to separate cleanly. And it all starts with the design of this. And let's look at the hose. Again, we have a hose that we manufacture ourselves. It's FDA. This is something you would buy at your hardware store. And if you notice, it's ribbed. And so what happens inside of this hose, it's going to get full of hash and all these little crevices and create all sorts of clogging issues. Again, copy and paste. If you don't really understand and you don't know what's going on, this is the kind of solution that you will find. And so it may seem like they're identical machines, but the difference is in the small details. As you can see, not at all sealed. We can clearly see how hash gets everywhere. In our newest models, this doesn't happen. And this is what, some sort of fiberboard? So they're using fiberboard for this. Again, these insulators, we use ceramics. They're using plastics still. If you look at all the nooks and crannies, so we can see silicone everywhere and hash everywhere in every single corner. And let's look at all of these screws up there. As you can see, it's just the build quality really shows. There is a current of air that comes into the device, right? So you need to expel this air somewhere. And if you have 200 cubic feet of air coming into the machine per hour, that air needs to go somewhere. So what do they have here? They have two small exhaust ports that go where? God knows who. You need to
send those somewhere, right? So you need a place for you to put an exhaust, to connect an exhaust, and we have two 4-inch exhaust ports to get rid of the air, and that can go into a cyclone to collect any kind of dust. And so you can see in this lab, there's dust everywhere because dust management is not taken into account. Additionally, we use diffusers here, and what the diffusers do is as the air comes down into this funnel, computational fluid dynamics shows that the air comes up, and so these diffusers prevent a jet of air coming out and particles going out of the machine from happening. So they diffuse the air, and instead of having one large current, you have many small currents for the air to exhaust. Those are very small things that they may not seem important, but at the end of the day, that's the difference between producing a very, very clean product and just getting a separation. We're far beyond a simple separation. In our machine, we're able to achieve 98% plus separation. When we first started, it took 4, 5, 6 passes to do it. Now, most advanced users are able to get an incredibly clean separation in just 2 passes. So if you want to go back in time, this is what you're going to buy. If you want to look in the future, you can look at our newest models. These guys are one of our first customers, so they have one of the version 1.6s. And so these guys bought a version 1.4. Right now, we're at version 1.8 at the filming of this video. And let's look down here. Okay, so I'm kind of confused here what you're supposed to do with this. I mean, yeah, this is not very user-friendly. Our new machines, the funnels, are detachable. The problem is when you're emptying the machine, because there's always powder in the machine. When you're emptying the machine, how do you get it out of the machine, right? You want to empty it, but you can't remove this. So those are the little things that are an issue. And you know, nice logo, sure, but very little engineering going on here. And it's just difficult for me to see somebody violating our intellectual property, just straight up copying all the hard work that we've done. But it is what it is, and we continue innovating, we continue making better products so you guys can create incredible hash, more, better, faster, cleaner. Am I happy about this situation? No, I'm not. Obviously, I have a reaction. But my reassurance is that the proof is in the pudding, and that is the customer's preference to our tech. It's obvious that, you know, we're doing things right, and so at least there is that. And we'll continue to push forward and make just awesome stuff. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Please comment, let me know what you thought about it, and if there's other interesting stuff that you're interested in, I'd love to hear about it. Thanks for watching.